I don't think he was asked to write a backstory. I think that homeschool work was only given to me.
Only for you?
Because he's a class topper, no? So.
बहुत सोचना पड़ता है जवाब के लिए. दिमाग का बत्ती नहीं चलता है.
I remember when we were doing Johnny Gaddar, the same guy, Daniel George, was doing the background music. So I showed him the film with the whatever references Pooja had done. And he said, I understood. It's a combination of Tarantino and Kalyanji Anandji. No, what does it mean?
It's not that. I'm sorry. क्या बोला मैंने?
You were saying that you came with the idea.
कभी-कभी मुझे शर्म भी आता है.
Oh my God.
Sir, thank you, sir.
Hello everyone, happy 2024. This is the first front row session for the year, and I'm super excited to be kicking it off with artists I really admire. So please put your hands together for Sriram Raghavan, Katrina Kaif, and Vijay Sethupathi. Please. Katrina in the middle. How exciting is this? I couldn't have asked for a better beginning to the year. Guys, are we taking in the frame here? It's pretty amazing. First of all, Sriram, I want to start with congratulations to you, because 2024 is 20 years of Sriram Raghavan cinema.
Scary.
Ek Hasina Thi, which scarred me forever with rats killing Saif Ali Khan and just biting him to death, released in 2004. And over these 2 decades, Sriram, you've really sort of created your own genre of cinema, right? I've heard it described as, of course, neo-noir, but also Raghavan noir, but also Pune noir, because so many of your films are based in the city you grew up in. You're called the master of suspense, the master of thrills, the master of whodunits, and you've always said, that's not what I'm making, right? So for all of us, if you can just tell us the difference between suspense and whodunit, and why you prefer one over the other.
So suspense is, okay, I'll give you an example, which is Hitchcock's example. See, for example, this is a very famous example, so some of you may be already knowing it. If there's a bomb in a bus, under a seat, and the audience is shown the bomb, then they are waiting for, okay, when is it going to go off? Oh my God, the hero is going and sitting there, or the kid is going and sit there. Whereas if the audience doesn't know about the bomb and suddenly it goes off, it's a surprise. So it's essentially the difference between, it's like anticipation. Here I'm expecting oh my God, any moment this is going to happen. That is suspense. Whereas otherwise it's shock and surprise, which is different. And whodunit is a very sort of a sub-genre within this kind of thriller genre, where it essentially becomes a guessing or deducing game, And strangely, Hitchcock, I think, has made only one such whodunit. Only one film, Stage Fright, was a whodunit. Otherwise, there's no, because it's like, it doesn't sort of appeal so much to me whereas I love reading Agatha Christie, and of course I watched the Kenneth Branagh films and so on. But that's like, I'm not too keen on whodunits.
So he doesn't make whodunits, he does suspense.
Yeah, I mean suspense, yeah.
Katrina, what I love is that you sought him out even before the success of Another. You actually said to him that I want to be part of the worlds you create. And over several years, this became materialized into Merry Christmas, right? I love the sort of out-of-the-box thinking that female actors are consistently kind of showing. There's of course this film, but last year Kareena Kapoor did Jaane Jaan with Sujoy Ghosh. She's doing the Buckingham Murders with Hansal. Alia is doing Jigra with Vasan Bala. You know, Vidya Balan said to me that perhaps for the first time, it's almost better to be a female actor because the roles being written for us are so varied. She said, I feel like men are perhaps, leading men, are maybe caught in this kind of, you know, very outsized, very larger than life, high testosterone personas, but women are really getting to play. Would you agree?
Well, first of all, Happy New Year, everyone. and belated and coming again, Merry Christmas on January 12th. I do feel it's a fantastic time in cinema for everyone. I think for actors actually right now. In fact, I was talking with a friend the other day saying that for me, the appearance of the OTT platforms has actually brought so many actors who you know maybe were not getting a chance on the big screen in cinema, brought them back and gave a whole new lease of life. And how amazing that is to see that so much work has been brought into the film industry for actors, for technicians, for directors, with this whole new kind of avenue of movies, the movie experience. And for me, I think that's a really, really positive thing, you know, because to see people shining in content, whatever platform, whether it's on the big screen or whether it's on a platform, I think that is what an actor wants and what an actor needs, right? Is the platform to showcase his work. And now we're seeing that happen so much more. So it's a fantastic time for sure, I think, in cinema for everyone. I think for women, like you said, with this new avenue of now films being able to release on platforms, we have seen a lot more diverse content being created. Yeah. Whereas before, certain content might not be deemed, commercially viable enough to be released in the cinema. Now that platform, that content is getting its space to an audience on a platform. And I think that's something which is allowing both directors and writers to explore different kinds of content, and thus then coming to actresses and actors and saying, this is the role that I have. I mean, even for the guys, if you see some of the phenomenal TV shows that have been coming out in the last few years, yeah. It's just, I mean, some of them are just, it's incredible work. And I think that it's only going to get better and better from here, because now that we have the platform and people are getting the opportunities, I think we're going to see better content come, more different types of content, and I think people will be more encouraged to experiment and to take those risks as an actor or actress.
It's so exciting.
Yes, very.
But Vijay, you have been taking those risks forever. You know, I've been a fan for a long time.
Thank you.
It's true. And Sriram, I know you, I mean, one of the most exciting things about Merry Christmas is the fact that you put these two actors together. And you said that you were flying to a festival in Australia and you saw 96 on the way. And 96 is one of my favorite films. You know, I am still haunted by the fact that Ram and Janu couldn't be together. I'm still like, but lekin kyun, you know? And what fascinates me about you is the fact that you can play so many different characters. That you can be this guy in 96. He's a guy who falls in love in school so deeply that he can never love anyone else again. You can also be these very awful people in Vikram or in Jawan. And you can also be the revolutionary writer Gauri Shankar in 1901A. How do you do this?
मैंने कुछ नहीं किया. No, it's just because of the directors and writers, right? Maybe the way they have written the story and the way they present it to me, maybe the way they made the film, that's why it's like that. Just our part is just to choose the filmmaker and the story, that's all. And then I'm a person, I get bored very fast. Very fast. बचपन से मैं, I can't focus on anything. So maybe I can't do the same thing for long. I'm not fan of anybody. So, but the only thing... नहीं, अब अगर किसी को fan हो गया तो then you only like to watch that actor, then for an actor it's not good, that's what I believe. So even if I watch the film also, I don't know whether the film is good or bad, since I'm 24. So when I started trying for cinemas, though, I know that I don't know anything. That's a good thing I know about myself. Then I try to make friends with the assistant directors and actors. So the great thing happened in my life is I met very good souls and intellectual people in my life at the early stage, where whenever we watched the film, and I was just sitting and observing them, what conversation they are having about the film. That was very exciting, and through that only I learned something about cinema. Then slowly I also tried to understand. Once I watched the film, and then when they discuss something, then again I watched the film. And then one day I could understand. Then I draw a script on a paper. So this is hero, and they meet here, this is the problem, and this is what happened, this is... So because one day I saw a film, I hate that film. And one of my friends told me, no, it's a great film, they said. So when he said it's a great film, because I trust that person. So I draw that screenplay pattern in my... I found on my own way of understanding it. So I make a draw in it. So then I went and watched the film again. Then I could understand more. So it's because of the people I met in my early stage of life. And still I'm meeting such like Sriram sir. So through them only I'm learning. So maybe because of that.
Because of that, you can
maybe
be any character.
For anything, there may be so many reasons, but we can consciously, we can come up with one or two things only, but there are so much is there, which you don't even remember.
Yeah. But Vijay, you're completely fearless in your choices. You don't think now you're so successful, you're such a big star, I should do this kind of film or that kind of film?
When I was in Dubai, I was in love with my wife. And then, नहीं, बात तो सुनो पहला. No, हम लोग कभी मिला नहीं था. So that time Yahoo chat. So I was talking to her. Then एक हफ्ते में मैंने बोला तो मैं I love you नहीं बोला. हम लोग शादी करेंगे क्या ऐसा पूछा था मैंने सीधा. So we fell in love for 5 months. Then I came for my marriage. So ये ज़िंदगी में बहुत बड़ा decision है. उसके लिए इतना fear नहीं है तो इसके लिए क्यों?
That's fab. Okay, Sriram, you described Merry Christmas as the most expensive low-budget film ever made. What does that mean?
Well, what I meant is actually we had signed him, we had spoken to him and sort of spoken about the role and signed him in I think 21. Then for various reasons we just couldn't take off, COVID came, then some portions came again, so we were thinking we'll start now and so on. We actually had built a set in Mehboob studio, and then for 3-4 months we couldn't use the set, so we had to break it down. So there was, when you spend money on a movie, the money should be there on screen. So for me, this is a very intimate, one night story, and suddenly I'm finding it's like getting more and more, and it's like taking time and so on. We were actually ready with the shoot got over last year, and but we are not ready with the post-production, and there was also a Tamil version. And then we were supposed to release it in September this year. Then they were saying, okay, iske baad World Cup, iske baad the big movies are coming. So it kept getting pushed. Luckily, nothing about the film came out, so there's still excitement, hopefully for the film coming out next week. But yeah, so I just felt we have spent a little more than we should. And one of the reasons when we began shooting, I had to convince her for a long time, let's do a Tamil version also, because some way I can sort of balance it out, hopefully, it just gives you some more revenue, and if the film works in Tamil also, it's great, so in that sense, it's not, but I like the line, so most expensive low budget makes a lot of sense to me, so.
I want to talk about this bilingualness of it, that you simultaneously shot a Tamil and a Hindi version. The Tamil version has different supporting actors. Of course, the two of you are leads. What do you What are the challenges of
No,
that?
we did our best to make sure that we had the lines. And I think I had a fantastic support in a lady called Deepa Venkat, who is the lady who has dubbed the film for me. But the lines have to be said at the end of the day. And you have to be comfortable enough to be able to maintain the emotion. And it's a very dialogue-heavy film. It's a very conversational film. So to know, to be comfortable in the same ease which we had in Hindi, and then to do it in Tamil after, that was the challenge. It was very, very challenging, but I think we had the benefit of the fact that we had done it already once in Hindi, and we had that experience. And then it was just about remembering, okay, this is what the characters are going through, and not getting caught up in trying to remember what the Tamil lines are, just kind of be honest to the emotion. For me, the kind of trick or the thing that I convinced myself before every shot was the minute you hear action, just don't think. Just don't think. Whatever thought comes into your head, oh my God, what if this, that, just don't think anything. And just kind of let it flow, whatever happens.
So every scene, first Hindi, then Tamil?
No, not like that. It
Then?
was like the Hindi version was shot. I mean, the bulk of the film, the Hindi version was shot. Then we took a break. Break matlab we were doing other things and so on. After 15-20 days, we started the Tamil version with a different, with them. She had to hear, the Tamil dialogues were sort of spoken to her. I mean, the writers had given it with the sort of little bit of how it would be said, and that she's just listening to that on WhatsApp. So she's familiar with it because she also has to be familiar with his lines, so that the cues and everything.
Vijay, you of course now speak fluent enough Hindi to be quite comfortable,
हाँ जी.
है ना?
I like to tell you one thing, I love you so much, and you guys are giving me so much confidence, I don't know why.
No, because I remember the interview we did in like 2019.
हाँ जी.
And you were like, I don't know what language should I speak in, I'm not so
No,
comfortable.
that time मुझे बहुत डर था उस time पे, क्योंकि I have so much of answers, but I don't know where to start. It was like that. So, and then I don't want to argue with anybody. It was like an argument, and then, so इसलिए मैंने सोचा अच्छा okay, जल्दी इधर से भाग जाऊँ उससे.
This was a round table we did with like 8 or 9 actors. Oh, so you just decided कि चुप रहो और निकलो.
हाँ जी, क्योंकि because I have so much to tell, and then every time I need to translate in my head. Okay, that was very difficult. Actually, English also very bad. So I learned. Seriously, because after I come here, it become little more flow.
Yeah.
Okay, so that time it was. So I don't know if I get an answer also how to say this. It's better keep quiet and absorb them and go.
But you know, this is a sort of a new twist on the idea of the pan-Indian film, right? Or as they said in Jigar Tanda XX Pandya film, the pan-Indian film. Sriram, as a creator, what are the differences in the textures or the sensibilities of the two languages and cultures that you had to watch out for?
See, luckily my story demanded two strangers meeting and interacting, and whatever happens next, and sort of they connect in some manner, and things happen to them, things they do to each other, and so on. I won't reveal too much about that. So it never sort of bothered me. Okay, he's an actor from Tamil, and in fact every day I'm answering interviews. Why did you do that? And accents and this and that. And somehow eventually it's communication. And if I can communicate with somebody and the other person can communicate with me, that's the most important thing. And I was telling some interview, if a Bengali goes somewhere to the south, they might say, this guy's got a funny English accent or Hindi accent and so on. It happens in our country, and it's part of the game. Actually, the big thing. So it never bothered me. For me, what was interesting is these two together, it was an adventure, which, any movie has to be an adventure, even for the director. It's not like it's all ready and blocked, and like Hitchcock says, my film is completely ready in my head, I just have to go and shoot it. For me, it's not like that. Much as I like Hitchcock and many other filmmakers, for me, it's all there, but then when the actors come in, it gets its own life, I mean, had this been another actor, the film would have been quite different. Like, the film has a plot, but I didn't want to focus on the plot part of it, because today there's so much of work on OTT, which is thrillers and plots and, like, okay, what happens in a plot sense. I wanted to get away from there. And I actually feel, I mean, this is a very unique and hence beautiful sort of a combination.
Yeah.
And of course, there are so many actors. I mean, I have spoken about this role to Varun. At some point, he was almost going to do it many years back, after Badlapur actually. Then sort of luckily it didn't happen, Somebody said, I met a couple of girls also a long time back, and then I just kept it aside. Then I got into Andazun. So I said, okay, this story is there, let it be. And then, so when I got the actors, then we started working, and how much they have contributed. I mean, it may not be in the script. There's so many little things that happen while we are shooting it. Yeah. So I think I leave it like, for me, it's like any script is like the samosa, they fry half and keep it. Achha, customer aa gaya, now they do the rest of it. So,
Just fab. Customer aa gaya to pura fry kar do. Of course, one of the markers of the Sriram Raghavan film is moral ambiguity, right? Like, no one's all good or all bad. And Vijay, you, of course, have played many bad guys. But Katrina, we've mostly seen you as the beautiful, brave, upright, the morally upright Hindi film A-list hero, right? What did you have to tap into to get into the headspace of Maria?
I think just human behavior, just humanity, real life. I think it's there all around us, right? And I think just because a lot of the films I have been a part of have not necessarily portrayed that, it doesn't mean that me as a person doesn't understand it or doesn't relate to it or hasn't experienced it in different ways in my life. So I think it was just discussing a lot with what Sriram sir saw this character as. What were the reasons why she did what she did? After our first meeting where we where Sir narrated me the film, he then told me, okay, you go home and you write your own backstory for your character. Tell me what you think, where she came from, why she is who she is, why she does what she does. And I think that that process from there, I think really helped me to understand, okay, this is the world. He didn't just like throw me in and say, okay, now, just portray the emotion. We kind of went into it in a level which really helped me kind of find the answers and search myself for the answers. If this happens, which it does happen in life, everything that happens in the film, somewhere at some point has happened in the world. Yeah. Maybe not in the exact same order, but something like this would have happened to somebody. At least the major parts, the major events. So just tapping into that, like why would that person do it? What could be the reasons? What can be the explanation for these things?
Vijay, did you do this also? Do you write backstories for your characters?
I don't think he was asked to write a backstory. I think that homeschool work was only given to me.
Only for you?
Because he's a class topper, no? So. He already has the tag of,
What is the tag?
A great artist, sir. Great actor.
I only know what pain I go through. If my pain has an image, I can draw it and show it to you. So generally, when I hear the story from whoever it may be, I try to understand about his past life. And I ask questions. That's what happened when we have a discussion also. So we have been talking about that past story of Albert for so many days, and one day it came in the flow. I told him, and he liked that idea. And then one day I was watching Raja's masterclass in Goa, so where he composed a tune in three swaras. Shur mein compose kiya, sari ga, I think so. So I got an idea from there, and then I came and told him that I inspired from Raja sir ka interview में मुझे ऐसा idea मिला था. So I think Albert life is like this. So he may have this kind of expressions. So I'll try to handle like this ऐसा करके मैंने बोला था. So sir को he liked it. Then that's how. So it's not that. I'm sorry. क्या बोला मैंने?
You were saying that you came with the idea.
Post the master class. Vijay Raja master class.
कभी कभी मुझे शर्म भी आता है.
Oh my God.
Sir, thank you, sir.
Change the subject. Check your food.
So,
I don't know.
so see, we can't force our mind to think something. So we have to tell it, I need an idea. So mind will go for a round and will come with something. So you can't force your mind. ये ऐसा सोचो नहीं तो it won't. So you just tell him that मुझे ऐसा चाहिए. तो अपना ज़िंदगी में ऐसा कहीं experience होएगा तो so it will look for it. So our back end office is always open, even when we sleep also. Sometimes I get ideas in the dreams also, early morning sometimes.
Ideas for your characters.
Listen, no, not कुछ भी है.
कुछ भी.
He was searching for something.
हाँ.
Google तो अंदर है वो. So it will sometimes, because if you really deeply searching for something, no, you get somewhere. It comes automatically. I just trust the process. That's all.
Yeah. Katrina, I saw this trade website, Box Office India, and they did this list of, I think they called it the hit count actresses of all time or some label like that. And you were number one on that because you had, I think, 31 like major successes. What is your relationship with the box office for a film like this? How do you measure success?
I think, I mean, I didn't see that, but thank you. And I think it's aap log ki wajah se that I've had this opportunity for so many years to keep performing in films. And I think that has been one of the greatest joys. I wouldn't say achievements, but I would say one of the greatest joys I've experienced is the love that I've received from our audiences. And I think that's just been, I was always that very unpopular girl in school who, never really was not the cool kid. So then to kind of come and be received in an industry, where you kind of started from really without any kind of, fanfare, let's say. I think that was something which always for me meant, it gave a lot of joy to me as a person. In terms of the relation about the box office, that I really feel it can become a dangerous, it can become a trap for you. If you focus on it too much, then you'll find yourself, before you know it, chasing something and not knowing yourself, how do I achieve it? I think you have to just kind of just let it be and not try and analyze it too much and not try and chase after it too much, not try and wish for it to have that all the time. I think when I was starting out, I was a different person. Now, 20 years on, I think I'm a very different person. I have different life experiences now. I have different tastes. I have I've done a lot of what I wanted to do, right? So whatever intentions or desires I had as an actor, I think a lot of it I was able to do. I remember before, when I was getting into a film called Dhoom 3, I was so excited. I can't tell you how excited I was to perform those circus songs. Now I've experienced that, I've lived that process. And now to me, I think there are different things that excite me. Being part of something that is new for me. Like you said, I think in my one fortunate position that I'm in is that there's so many types of characters, even after so many years, that I yet haven't played.
Yeah.
So there's so many different types of characters that I think now are open for me to try and to explore.
And this whole idea of box office success, is it still as important, or are you at that point where you've been at the top of your game for 20 years, so it's all good?
I think, for me, box office success, because I'm not a producer, I equate that differently. For me, box office success means the film is loved by the audience.
Yeah.
And I will always want my film to be loved by the audience. I will always want a film I'm part of to be accepted by the audience and to hit the right notes with the audience. So for me, I will always desire that. But the exact number and how much has this film made and how much has this film made and the biggest opening of all time and that biggest this of all time, I think that you have to respect that every film has its own journey and a scale of a film. This story needs to be told in this manner. It doesn't need to be told in this manner. The story won't hold like that. So I think as long as you just trust the directors that they know what is right for the story, and then leave it on them.
Yeah. Vijay, this year is going to also see the release of your 50th film, Maharaja. 50 films, that's
a lot.
That's a big amount.
Thank you.
You talk about trusting the process, as you just said. You talk about surrendering to the craft. So over 50 films, has your approach to acting changed a lot? Has the approach to acting changed a lot?
It keeps changing.
It keeps changing.
It keeps changing. You can't, if you are not adaptable, you can't survive. So
depending on character क्या है?
There is no particular thing that you can say it. Maybe based on your age, maybe experience, maybe the people you meet, maybe the films you watch, maybe the political thing happening around you. There are so many things. You can't say this. So you can just observe and practice it, and then automatically it will adopt. Otherwise, if you stick on to one idea, then it will bore the audience. So it's not good for you also. So generally, it'll happen if you really wanted to look or responsibly to do your work. It'll happen automatically. And it's like I am great, and then if you really feel no, people like my work. If you have that thought in your mind, that day it's gone. If you think that I'm bigger and then I'm great, ऐसा कभी भी आएगा तो मन में बस
हो गया
retirement हो गया उस दिन. So you keep enjoying your work and then observe it and then learn. You can learn from everybody. Yeah, I learned so much from the Pari. And Pari is the small girl, child actor in our film. She was so good.
She is,
so, yeah. And of course from Katrina also.
Katrina, you were saying something?
I was saying something, and then he moved on to two more fascinating things. But I think I was going to say that you change, and you're not the same person as an actor that you were 10 years ago. So obviously you are also going to change as a person, and that change is going to reflect in your work over time, over the years.
Yeah.
So one formula cannot sustain you forever. You will have to adapt and evolve. And I think also that, who was it? Someone, I read it somewhere that once you've reached your destination, once you've achieved your goal, you've reached your destination, then the journey's over. So if you see yourself that you're always continuing, you're still on a journey, you've never yet reached, no matter what you achieve, no matter whatever you've reached or managed to achieve in your life, as long as if you keep seeing that I've not yet reached my destination, then your journey is still going.
Yeah. Katrina, as you said, you started working when you were very young, 17, right?
Yes.
Over these years, how has your relationship with money changed? And do you think the Hindi film industry is in any way closer to pay parity for women and men than it was when you began?
No. That's only a simple answer for that. And in a word. And I think that that's a really, really tricky topic.
Yeah.
Because I have heard it been said that look at the top 10 openings of with a male-led film, and look at the top 10 openings of just female-led films, and more often than not, there's a big disparity in the numbers.
Yeah.
So, and I've heard this said by an actor. So then, why should actresses get paid
the same?
Yeah. This is a tricky debate. I mean, who is to decide which ingredient is the most important to make a dish, right? A film is a combination of many ingredients. I I personally think that that it would be incredible to see a little bit more equality. But I also like to see everything in a positive light and not sit, with a negative thought. And I think that things are moving there, and they will move in the right direction. And I think that everyone in the industry will be supportive of that.
And has your sort of approach to the money you want to make, has that changed a lot?
Sorry, in what way?
In the sense of like at one point it was very important to make X amount of money. Is it still as important because that's how they place a value on you? Or are you willing as an actor to sort of say, okay, this is a project I really want to do, and therefore I will take a cut or become a producer, or those kind of arrangements?
Even when I started out in the film industry, I had a very limited amount of savings, and that was all I had. And I said, I will try to enter into films until the time I have this money, and when this money is over, then that's it. And luckily, I started working as a model, and I was able to support myself. But I think early on, my relationship has always been one that if you are working and doing what you love, doing your job with utmost sincerity, talent you have, you can get better, you can keep getting better as the years go by, but whatever stage you're at in your work, if you're working with the utmost sincerity and you are giving it everything you have, then financial success will follow you. But if you're chasing financial success first, I think that that's kind of like, the chicken before the egg. So I kind of, yes, of course, I had a certain amount of savings, and I was like watching that number. But if you try to be the best you can be, that may be different from you. You may be better than me, but this is the best that I can be. And if you're sincere all the time, I think that will pay off.
Yeah, I agree. Chase excellence.
Chase excellence, and I think that the rest will follow.
I have to share with you guys one of my favorite Vijay stories. Okay, so I'm the chairperson of the Film Critics Guild, and we do awards called the Critics' Choice Awards. And Vijay has acted and also co-produced Kadaisi Vyavasai, which is just the most brilliant film. If you guys haven't seen it, please seek it out. Which, and this film was nominated for many, many awards. And so I sent him a text and I said that, Vijay, will you please come? Because, your film has so many nominations. And I think you sent me a voice note saying, Madam, I cannot come, I don't have the clothes.
ऐसा बोला मैंने?
आपने बोला? And I said, Vijay, you're Vijay Sethupathi, nobody cares what you're wearing. Just please.
Maybe they have mentioned that...
suit and tie.
नहीं, किसी ने नहीं mention किया था. I had just texted you.
मैंने कुछ reason
कुछ लफड़ा होगा.
नहीं, I don't go for the award functions. Maybe कुछ इसके लिए बोला होगा.
It was a polite way of declining the invitation.
Yes, absolutely. And of course, he sent the actors, which was lovely because they got their spotlight. But I want to ask you, Vijay, despite all this success that you have, do you just naturally sort of want to stay away from these kind of things, from the awards, from the media glare? Because I know you don't even really want to do interviews.
हाँ जी. नहीं सर, नहीं sorry madam. ये क्या? Sometimes I fear of too much of exposure. Talking so much about films and myself, I fear that may detach my audience from my characters, my films. I don't want to disturb them while watching the film. So I don't want to, if you go and see my Insta also, there are not my personal photos, maybe 1 or 2 is there, nothing. So I don't want to share much about myself, films or something. Earlier stages, it was very 1 or 2 awards only. You get to see actors very few moments. Now there are too much exposures, which makes me afraid whether it will take my audience away from the film or what. So इसलिए, and then सब जगह में एक ही सवाल पूछता है, एक ही सवाल को डिफरेंट जवाब देना बहुत मुश्किल होता है, बहुत सोचना पड़ता है सच में, बिकॉज people they just see the people who is answering, but they don't know what question have asked to us. So it's बहुत सोचना पड़ता है जवाब के लिए. हाँ, दिमाग का बत्ती नहीं चलता है. So better, so to show myself I'm a dump, ऐसा better to keep quiet and have that image. अच्छा, इसका फिल्म में तो he looks very intellectual, ऐसे रहने दो. Believing in some person is an imagination, that's what I believe. So better I be in somebody's imagination as an intellectual and brilliant actor, that's nice, no?
Correct.
Better to come and show myself as a dumb actor. This is not an humble answer, this is real. So this is real. So we only know that every time, even when we come for interview also, every time, okay. Yeah, I need to do meditation. So to have my breath level is normal. कुछ disturbance नहीं होना है. Phone में कुछ negative नहीं देखना है. So that will affect your mind. So every time the answers, whatever brain gives, it's a choice. Same answer you may get different choices. So we have to be very careful. So better
not to do it.
आराम से बैठ जाओ तो अच्छा है.
Well, I'm very happy you made an exception for this. Thank you.
What is it?
You came here.
Okay.
आप यहाँ आए, that's amazing.
No, I'm enjoying this seriously. This audience is awesome. Yeah, we always expect your expressions. Whatever expressions we give, I don't know. तुम लोग पसंद ही नहीं है क्यों, तो आप लोग का एक्सप्रेशन आएगा तो पसंद है. तो I love you so much. I love you.
Okay, I've just two more questions and I'll open it up to the audience. Sriram, I don't know if you remember this, but just before Badlapur, I did an interview with you and Varun. And Varun Dhawan told this very funny story about how he had signed Badlapur, and then his father, who is sort of an iconic creator of comedies, David Dhawan, ran into Huma Qureshi on a flight. Okay, and she said to, and of course Huma was a key part of Badlapur, and she said to David sir कि बहुत dark film है. So Varun said कि he came home very stressed. And he said, अगर हुमा कह रही है डार्क फिल्म है तो कितनी डार्क फिल्म होगी? So, Katrina, at this point, we're a few years away from that. Is this idea of dark film still something that Hindi cinema actors need to think about in terms of persona, how it fits in with the image? Is that still a thing, or is experimentation all the rage?
I think you should just be fearless in your choices and don't calculate so much. And I think this year is probably one of the best years for me to give this example, where we've seen, of course, high octane action commercial blockbusters, and we've seen a small content, an intimate story film, 12th Fail, do so well. So I think that's all the example that we need. If a film has an interesting story, it will find its audience, and it's the job of the producers to calculate the numbers and to figure that part of it out. But I think it's the job of directors and actors to try and tell the right stories.
And Sriram, last question to you. Your career, of course, has been, and you've spoken about how much Alfred Hitchcock has shaped you. He said that the only way to get rid of my fears is by making films about them. Are you doing the same thing?
In a way, sort of it happens to that, because the things I can do in a film. I mean, I'm the kind of guy, if I'm going past a railway station, even though I have a ticket, I feel like, I hope they don't ask me, kind of a thing. Maybe I've lost it, kind of thing. So it's got that kind of a thing. So there's one way to exorcise that. Not that every day you sit and try and do that. But yeah, but there are of course many other filmmakers who influenced me. not just Hitchcock. But because this is a genre, so Hitchcock, and actually he's done it all before, so it's sort of, we're just drawing from that.
So is there a specific fear we're getting rid of in Merry Christmas?
No, in Merry Christmas, I think we have been sort of a little bold in the way we have treated the film, not just the casting. I'm saying a whole lot of things are not, it's got a certain pace, which, earlier people say, people won't, they need everything happening in 5 minutes, and, slow burn is something that you don't take very, and most people watch films at home and all that. But I've realized that the best film at home, I can watch with 7 or 8 intervals, which is sort of ruining the, whereas in the hall, if you have invested and bought a ticket to come in, you give the filmmaker 15 minutes at least, or 10 minutes at least. You're not going to walk out in 20 minutes and 15 minutes, so you're going to watch. So I have the time to do that, whereas at home, I've seen so many beautiful movies. Somebody rang the bell, my parcel has come, I stop, and so it's, of course, I also watch so many films at home, but I'm saying the theatre experience is something, this probably is like a test. I'm just curious, how does the audience respond to the way this film is, So,
Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, let's get you guys into this. So each one picks one. Wow, we've got people up there as well.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
You go ahead.
Vijay, they're saying they love you.
Lokesh Bose.
हेलो मेरी क्रिसमस।
मेरी क्रिसमस।
तो मेरा सवाल श्रीराम सर से था कि थ्रिलर मूवी का जो मेन पार्ट होता है वो म्यूज़िक होता है, बैकग्राउंड म्यूज़िक। तो आपके मूवी का डेफिनेटली बहुत अलग होता है, अंधाधुन देख लो या बदलापुर। तो आप कंपोजर के साथ बैठते हो या कम्प्लीटली उसके ऊपर छोड़ देते हो कैसे बनाना है?
नहीं, completely छोड़ते नहीं. Actually, my editor, she's there in the auditorium. So she has a habit of, her name is Pooja, and she also wrote the
Hi,
script
Pooja. She's right there.
Yeah. So when she's doing the edit, actually, she puts some reference music and so on. It sort of helps her, guides her, whatever. I mean, she does that. And so when I see that, I often tell her, you have put such a great piece here. Now we have to, we cannot take it. We have to compose something in this zone. But it sets the bar high for the music, background music guy. Of course, the background music guy, I tell him, I give you a choice. Either you see the film without this reference or you watch it. So they decide that, So some of them, some of them make it offended if I say, okay, this has been laid out. And some of them enjoy it because they get a sense of the movie, So when I remember when we were doing Johnny Gaddar, the same guy, Daniel George, was doing the background music. So I showed him the film with the whatever references Pooja had done. And he said, I understood. It's a combination of Tarantino and Kalyan Jananji. No, what does it mean? That sounded so much.
That's fab. That is fab.
So I just love that thing, I said, so we work with him and it's a sort of a combined process,
Nice.
Thank you.
Katrina?
Tushar Gurjar, is that right?
Hello everyone.
Hi.
So I've got the question for all three of you. So if you guys ever get a chance to switch lives with one of your characters which you have written or act in one of your previous films, so what would that character be and why that character?
I played a character called Sumar Mujikumar. It's called Sumar Mujikumar means normal face Kumar. That's the title. Very normal. So in that film, it's happening. It's a one-night story. I'm searching for a liquor the whole night. But that character is it's like a cartoon character. It's like cartoon, and his emotions, everything was so loud. It's like सब लोग अंदर से character होएगा, so he wanted to express everything, but you can't express, right? It's a such kind of character, and then when I was doing that role, it was like a freedom for me that I can express like so loudly, and there is no shyness on his expressions. So I love that character in the sense I want to be that guy. He's very local, and then it was nice, and the way he dressed, everything was very local. वो अच्छा है. और दो तीन चाय से मेरा. Okay. And then एक सोचने दो, please. And then I like Veda very well. Veda.
Big fans of Veda, yeah.
Yeah, Veda.
Super.
Veda was like, he's very practical, and then
Yeah.
so I like Veda so much.
He also cuts a man in half.
Huh?
That's practical.
He takes that sword and बिल्कुल बीच में से.
Tamil में नहीं दिखा है, हम लोग भी नहीं. So I like Veda. Then and then okay. Huh? नहीं.
Ram, come on. Vijay, Ram.
राम तो हमेशा साथ में रहता है, तो उसमें क्या है? लव ऐसा चीज़ है, हमेशा आते रहता है, तो बट यू कांट बोल नहीं सकता सबके पास, बट यू फील ऑलवेज फील दैट्स एन एसेंस दैट यू ऑलवेज गेट इट, बट यू कांट एक्सप्रेस टू एवरीबडी. सो दैट राम इज ऑलवेज देयर एंड इज विथ मी ऑलवेज, एंड आई एम राम. वन मोर, दैट्स ऑल. ओके.
3.
Huh? No, I thought something else, then I forgot. I don't
Super Deluxe?
know. No.
Too tragic.
Huh?
Too tragic, no, that was?
Yeah.
But lovely.
I
It was so lovely.
I feel sad. So sometimes I feel sad for Shilpa. So I always.
Yeah.
That's all.
Katrina, for you?
I would say maybe Leila from Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara. I think because she was so fearless and carefree, and I think didn't live by any of the, the confines of society that sometimes we inflict ourselves with. And she seemed to just be having a really, really good time in life. I think wherever she is or would be in life, she'd be having a good time.
Yeah.
And maybe then a little bit then Zoya from Tiger, because she's living an extremely adventurous life.
Yes, absolutely. And how much fun is she having
Adventure,
kicking butt?
carefree, and fearless. Yeah,
Yeah?
it's a pretty good life.
You have to give 3 answers.
No,
I
you
had
can
two.
just give one.
Actually, give me one.
No, I mean, most of the guys in the films are not people I would like to be. But if I had to choose, I would probably choose a female character, Urmila in Ek Hasina Thi. I mean, if I had to switch. Because that girl goes through a journey and
Yeah,
triumphs.
absolutely. Okay, whose name have you picked?
Yeah. Sorry. Akhilesh Kalse.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
I'm really happy to be here. First of all, I have to say, Katrina ma'am, I've been a big fan of yours since forever. So really happy to be here. Sriram Raghavan sir, I have been a fan of yours since Johnny Gaddar. I loved it. Sir, I'm waiting for Fuzzy season 2. So really looking forward to it. So Sriram Raghavan sir, as you direct thrillers, so how do you make sure every thriller is different from the one that you've done before, and what do you look forward to in the next movie that you have to put, and is there any inspiration that you have?
So, I mean, the thing is basically the thriller is a very broad genre, So you can have so many kinds of films which can be classified under thrillers. So the basic choice of subject itself will define the way you're doing it. So I don't know. I mean, if I'm doing a film like this, which the Merry Christmas is there's a lot of conversations in the movie and a lot of things which are not there in my earlier films, which are like quick cuts and twists and turns and so on. So I think that the choice of subject itself dictates a certain thing. When we were doing Badlapur, I mean, for example, in the beginning of Badlapur, there's a bank robbery. Now, normally when you are looking at a scene, okay, bank robbery and 2 guys the villains are being established, you think of a very snazzy way of shooting it and kind of a thing. But then we decided, but that's the most expected way of doing it, so let's do it like almost like a documentary. The camera is in one place, doesn't move. The viewer has to notice that the robbery is happening. It's not being presented upfront. So these are things I sit with my writers and we just try to find ways to do it, because we've seen so many films. I mean, I've seen so many films that I just want to do something to, give it its own treatment. That's all. And then my next film is not a thriller in the usual sense of the word. It's a war film. So let me see. I mean, I also have to recharge myself and not think of, where is the dead body and what is the clue to leave and so on, So
Yeah. In this film, where is it? Where is the dead body?
it's a war film. There are a lot of dead bodies, but we have nothing to do with it. There are no villains in that sense,
We'll finish this 2 more, otherwise they may feel we are unlucky.
You take one. You take one. You take it.
Tanvi Kakar.
Hello, hi, good evening to everyone. Sir, we are a very big fan of yours, me, my sister, everybody in the family. My question is for Katrina ma'am. I would like to know. I wanted to ask her this because we all know Sir is like, a huge personality. Coming here, ma'am, what is that one thing?
Who is that, sir? Me, sir. Thank you, sir.
Ma'am, what is that one thing that you would like to steal from Sethupathi, sir?
His ease and his comfort in himself, just in his own skin and in his own being. I think that's a very attractive quality.
Thank you so much.
The question is not for me, but it's about me.
And the last one.
Oh, Vidhima Kurana.
Thank you so much, Vijay sir, for offering the last 2 people the chance as well. My question is to Sriram sir. Congratulations on...
Today here, everybody is in a very awesome timing.
Yeah.
Your timing sense is awesome. Ji? Maybe.
Yeah, so my question is that, one, congratulations on completing 2 decades in the industry, starting from Ek Hasina Thi to now Merry Christmas. Which is the one film which was the hardest for you and why?
Actually, the film that we worked the hardest on was a film called Agent Vinod, which nobody talks about. And we have done a lot of work. We slogged on that movie. We shot for more than 100 days. Other films are all 50 days kind of a thing. And so I mean, that's my answer, because the other films, I mean, that one, because it was just, I mean, all kinds of things were happening on that film and really slogged on it. And so it didn't work as much, though I meet a lot of people who say they liked it very much and so on. Check it out, it's not as bad as you think. It's got lots of good things in it.
That song, Rabta, the single shot sequence is just fantastic. So well done.
But in a way, if that had been a smash hit like I had wanted it to be, I would have been making number 5 of that, and I would have lost all these other movies. So
it all works out.
Everything happens for the good.
Exactly. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to all of you, and thank you to the 3 of you. This was so much fun. So much fun. And can I just say that I've seen bits of Merry Christmas and I cannot wait for all of you to see it.